Hello, everybody. Today is St. Patrick's Day, and I got a meal for all you ex-Scientologists out there and other ex-cultists. I am gonna make cabbage pancakes. Yes, today, they have, I won't have it. Cabbage and corned beef, only I won't have the corned beef, but I got an unusual cabbage recipe for you. Here I am. Let's get started. Okay. All right. All you Irish Scientologists, I hope you like this recipe. I don't know if I am. This is the first time I ever heard about this recipe that you can actually cook. So, now we're going to start with our cabbage. All right, let's see here. Yes, I could chop up my cabbage with this by hand, but guess what? Food processor can get it done in 2 seconds flat. Let me get a knife. Let's see. But I got a theory, and I want to do it. So, all right. Now, the cabbage I'm using is the Nisa Chinese cabbage. But you can use the usual cabbage. But this is what I have. Use half the cabbage. I mean, I don't know how much it's going to wound up, but I don't want to try because I don't want too many leftovers. I haven't finished the ones that are in my refrigerator yet. So I am going to use this. I'm going to chop it up. All right. All right, there we go. And if you were around earlier, of course, this week, Jenna Miscavige played the entire tape that her grandfather's wife gave her before she passed away. And it's the day when David Miscavige told the private investigators not to bother with his health at all. It looked like he was having a heart attack, but what it turns out was he wasn't even having a heart attack. It appeared to be that he was, I think, actually bending over to pick something up, or yeah, he wasn't having a heart attack at all. He just told him to let him die. Yeah, which is a heartless thing to do. Okay. Alrighty. Now, put all this in there. Chop it up. I should have done this with the egg rolls. So let's do it again. And it only takes 2 seconds. Here it is. Alrighty. Now we're going to put more in here. Yeah, and yeah, that's the way he thinks of his own family. That's Ron Sr. His son is Ron Jr., but not David Miscavige. But however, the private investigator also had a whole lot of weaponries in his trunk and other license plates in the trunk of the car. So he can throw off whomever is looking for him off. And it looks like it's going to is the police. I mean, okay, not every police officer is going to be corrupt. There are actually honest ones that are taking so long to work on this case or whatever. But I guess he must be under the impression that they all are on his side and they got him. But no, I don't think anytime this year they're going to actually arrest him or arrest any of the OSA or have a trial. It doesn't look like it's going to happen this year or the year after. It's going to take a while. It's not going to happen anytime soon. But I don't know. I mean, anything's possible. It could happen, but I don't think it's going to happen this year. You know what? Hold on. Okay, sorry about that, everybody. Let's see. Oh no, let's chop this up. And oh, we didn't put that on. Okay. All right, now we're gonna get chopping. Okay, and okay, chop this up. Chop that up. Okay. Now, over the weekend, I was detained. So I couldn't do the lives over the weekend, so I decided to do 2 days worth, today, tomorrow, and then I will be coming on live Thursday to tell how Hubbard put his evil theories together when he formed Scientology. So I hope you don't miss it. So here we go. Okay. Chop it up. Got that. Oh boy. I hope this thing doesn't burn out on me. Okay. Okay, I'm going to take a spoon and scrape everything in. Now, in this, there is no flour in it, but looks like I'm going to have to put it in because the only way this can hold together is if I put flour. Okay. But it looks like I'll probably end up putting only 1 cup in anyhow. All right. Now I'm going to put another more cabbage in to blend it all together. Laid in. All right. Woo! Okay. And it's it is what it is, isn't it? And that was the way he treats his family. Even though to silence his father, since I guess it was his father, he actually gave him what he wanted, especially a trumpet. This is not only any other trumpet. He actually dropped $5,000 on this thing. Scientology money, tax exempt money. We just paid for that. Okay. And then he says that he wasn't going to see any of his kids. This was his son. And then he says, well, you know what? Who cares? So he started speaking and about Scientology in his book, which he has a right to do since he gave all his money to his son. And I definitely think each and every Scientologist that came out should want to run because nobody knows what's going on, even though there are celebrities behind what goes on. I mean, those celebrities are being used as tools. And I just can't believe that they haven't caught on. Okay. Yep, I am making cabbage for for St. Patrick's Day. something different than corned beef and cabbage. And of course, I do have the cabbage, but no corned beef. Sorry, this is a vegan vegetarian kitchen. So, sorry, everybody, but I can use the cabbage. Okay, so let's finish up here. We got two more. Oh, darn it. Ooh. I'll be right back. The battery's running out, so. All right, sorry everybody about that. My batteries was running short, so I had to actually put these together. Oh boy. Oh, maybe. Let me see here. All right. There, now I'm set. Sorry about that. The battery was running low, so. And let's get to it. So we're going to chop it up. We're going to chop up the cabbage and stick it in there. And it doesn't take very long, so. So we're going to scoop it out with this regular spoon. It doesn't have to be a spatula. And guess what? Since you have to really go in there and scoop it up. You know what? I didn't really find any flour in there, but I'm going to use flour without it for now. But if it doesn't work like it's supposed to, then I'm going to actually put flour in there. So. All right. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty bad. So, yeah, that's the way Dave Miscavige treats his own family. He actually gave whatever his father wanted to butter him up so he could actually keep him away from his other brothers and sisters. Yeah, it's horrible. So, and he says, no way. And then at the end, he acknowledged that David is his son, and he was trying his best to actually get with his son, but to connect with his son, but fortunately he couldn't. And that's what L. Ron Hubbard created. Because at one time, according to Aaron, he was once doe-eyed, like Tom Cruise was, when he was first on to the scene in Hollywood as a Hollywood actor. And at first he wanted to be a priest, a Catholic priest. But you know what? It's really a long way off from being a Catholic priest, but it never even happened. Let's see here. What is that? Okay. All right. I just wanted to see what it was. Yeah, there was a new thing above it. So what is it? You know what? I'll find out when I actually replay this whole thing in the YouTube studio. All right. All right. Now to chop up the cabbage up. Okay. Oh, right. I got to put this on again. Okay. All right. So here we go. I was going to make zucchini lasagna, but guess what? I figured, perfect. Today is St. Patrick's Day. I might as well just use the cabbage recipe to make the cabbage pancakes. That's today's St. Patrick's Day. All right, here we go. Yeah, it's done. Everything's done in 2 seconds flat. So, all right. Now, if it doesn't turn out the way it's supposed to, I'm sorry, everybody. But this is an unusual thing that came upon me. I'm like, today, let's see what else I can find. And I didn't think I was going to make cabbage today, but guess what? I am, and I had the cabbage in my refrigerator. So guess what? I'm using it today. And since it was St. Patrick's Day, I thought, you know what? I'll make something with cabbage, even though there's no corned beef. So this is okay, there. All right, now guess what? Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna put the onions in here and chop it up. These are my last 2 onions, and I would call this, it would probably be about maybe 2 or 3 onions. Okay. And it's great. I'm sorry I didn't dress all in green. I just decided, you know what? There's no way I want to be chunky on my live stream. So I just kicked wearing green today. And besides, I have no green. So the only green I had was dark one and didn't look so good. So, all right. Peel this very nicely. Ugh. All right. And of course, as you all know, Aaron's going to go on his second try. I mean, he is just looking forward to having the second one. He is actually, I think he wants to throw it in his face. But you know what? I was just flabbergasted when I heard him say that. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, well, that's a good way to actually throw it in Scientology's face by going through the trial anyway. But if it was me, I would say, no way. I want to go home. So it's unbelievable. But yeah. I mean, those of you, one of you guys on my comment, I'm not going to name any names. I'm not going to do that. Said, Aaron's got a whole history of abuse. I mean, well, you know what? You're right. I don't know his whole history, but guess what? Maybe he's abusive, maybe he's not. But according to Cheryl, he said he was a great guy. He's a good man. So, yes, maybe he does have his past with women. I don't know. But it didn't really look like he was doing anything wrong. I mean, it was a psycho woman that actually chased after him. So, all right. So, I didn't really see it, but I don't think anyone did. But at the same time, when you're in a cult, you're trying to break all habits. And since mental health sometimes contributes, where it's another story when mental health's in the picture as well as trauma. So, you know what? Since I have my brand new, yeah, you got it, computer, I tossed my other one away, and I got a new one. And this doesn't have a parental control on it. So, and I've been having this show for an entire year now. Today, March. Okay. And also from Easter last year, my computer was hacked. So guess what? I managed to fix it by putting in a security security in there besides my virus detector by McKeever. I think that's what its name is. So, okay. Alrighty. All right, so I'm fine now. My computer is not stopping in the middle anymore, and I'm good. All right. Boy, I'm not doing so good here. Let's see what I can do here. Oh boy, this is taking forever. Okay. And yeah. And the Friday night protest. What actually happened? You know what? I forgot, but let me think. And guess what? 2 weeks ago was the Public Works meeting. The audio on that thing wasn't working. I mean, it seemed like the audio's down, but no one there was making an effort to fix it. I think they might have deliberately done it, but who knows? Who knows? So now you couldn't even hear anything. And of course, William Good was the only one speaking out of Laura FM on in LA, which was on her stream, was there. And those are the only 3 I saw. Now, William Good was actually there with them. He was the only one out of those 3 that was speaking. Now, I mean, not that I noticed, I didn't see any of those 2 up there. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I moved the browser up forwards and backwards. I didn't see them speak. So I thought it was, horrible. Okay. And oh boy, this is getting on my nerves. I can't get this off. Okay, here we go. Yeah, sorry everybody. Okay. Trying to get a big hook, but can't. So, okay, chop this up. And then put in the onions. Alrighty. And here we go. I forgot to put the lid on. Now, and thank you, all of you, for hopping on and giving me 1,720 views. Now, unfortunately, because I wasn't around the weekend and I was very detained, it went down. It went down, but you know what? I'm hopeful that it'll go back up. Okay. And Okay, there. All right, that should do it for this. So I'll unplug this. All right. There we go. Yep, it takes only 2 seconds. Okay, we got the onions in there, so let's. This is pretty bad when nothing comes out and just sticks there. But it's so great. Now, let's see. And now the story of the week. If I have a story of the week, I'm going to call it the story of the week. And I am going to tell you what it is. So I'm going to call this story of the week, Jenna's situation. Oh boy. All right, put this in my sink. All right, now I'm going to throw these onions away. Onion peels away. So now I actually made this because today is St. Patrick's Day. So all right. But so far, all of you wanted only to see my dog, the introductory, which is the dog, is a short. So yeah, it was pretty funny at the same time. So I'm thinking, okay, fine. I try to actually find more dog stories, but Scientology picks and chooses when to hurt an animal. But still, it's wrong. But however, I decided I have an idea, so I'm going to use it. Today, of course, you know, it's St. Patrick's Day today, and I'm making cabbage. Okay. All righty. I'm going to mix this up together. Actually, this is too small. Let me get something bigger. All right, so I'm going to use this spoon, stir it up. So I think I probably could actually use this without flour. So let's see how this is going to turn out without actually putting flour in. So I'm going to put about let's see. Looks like probably about half a cup of water. So let me get it. Okay, let's see how this is going to turn out. Mix it together. All right. And you know what? Earlier, I was called away, so I cut my art segment short. So I decided to have another art day tomorrow. So I'm going to have 3 days worth of art day, which is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and cook the same day. And let's see. And I'm also going to bring you a story. And I also have a monologue corner where I'll tell you a monologue about a cult. So, you know what? It looks like Jenna and Aaron are having an off again, on again, off again, on again relationship. It just looks that way because neither one of those two can make up their minds. So I would think so. Yeah. And let's see. What are Sam and Melissa up to? You know what? I'm going to see on that what's going on with them. All right. Now I can hear. Okay. Now I'm going to put 3.5 teaspoons of garlic. So let's get that. That's sugar. Okay, here we go. Two. And then there's 3. Now I'm going to put the half in. This is 1/3. Here's the 1/2. All right, there we go. Now we're going to stir it up. So today I really picked a day for the cabbage recipe. And again, I'm not wearing green, but I didn't like the green I had in my closet, and I wasn't going to be caught dead with it either. But here we go. I'm going to put the rest in. Just stir it up. All right. Now, today I didn't really work on putting anything in the bottom, but I'm going to make the list short this time. I'm not going to get carried away and put a whole bunch of things. I'm actually going, since I switched up laptops, I decided to actually put it in there, but I didn't actually put it in yet. So I will have that information for you on, I think, Thursday's show. Okay. And on Thursday's show, I'm going to tell you how L. Ron Hubbard put his evil methods together to form Scientology. Okay. All right, let's see. I'm going to put 1/3 of turmeric. Yeah, turmeric. 1/3 turmeric. What is it? Ah, here it is. 1/3 turmeric. And then I'm going to put in then I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon, 1/4 of cumin. Here's the 1 teaspoon. And here's a 1/2 teaspoon. Oh no, that's 1/4. I don't know what I was thinking. 1/3. Where's my 1/4? Okay, I'll just put half of the 1/4. Okay, so here we go. All right, there we go. So now we're going to mix it up. It says powder, but I forgot to put what else in there. Okay, well, what can you do? Oh, boy. You should smell the cumin that's in here. It is wonderful. So we mix this up. Okay. And now we are going to turn on the stove. Now I'm going to see what it looks like. If it doesn't turn out right, I'm going to put in 1 cup of flour. But yeah, I'm going to wait and see how it turns out without flour. So I didn't see no flour in the recipe. Oh, by the way, it's not the actual recipe. I've rewritten it, so don't worry. So I'm fine. So here. All right. Now I'm going to keep this here now. And then I'm going to turn on the stove. I'm going to put it on high to medium heat. Stir it up some more. Now, I use my food processor to chop it up. I mean, it chops everything up in 2 seconds flat. If you use it, it just doesn't take up so much of your time. So that's what I decided to use. I started out with my onions and then now I put Pam in this spray, but since I had that, I decided to skip the 1 tablespoon and 1/4 of oil to put in the pan since I had the cooking spray. So you can use either or. Okay, now only put 1/3 cups of water because now it's starting to look really dim. So just put 1/3. Okay. Now tomorrow I will be making zucchini lasagna. I should have saved it as a surprise, but okay. Now, since I was detained on Saturday and yesterday, I couldn't do the show. So it's one of those things. So now I'm gonna take, let's see if it's lit up very well. Now, my views went up as soon as I changed my name around. And I went from Animalata Corner to human and animal audit corner, then I put human animal cults corner. And then it just dropped. And then I'm like, what is going on? So I woke up one morning. I'm like, I'm going to take a look at this. I looked at it. It just scared me to death. I mean, those things. Yeah. So I decided to change it to human animal audit corner. So if I didn't change it, then sorry. But here we go. Let's see if it works without flour. All right, this could work. Jeez. All right, we'll take care of that later. I'm not going to stop to clean it now. So let's see if this would work. All righty. So now we're going to press down on this. All right, there we are. Okay. There, now we're going to cook this up a little bit. And I'm going to keep on continuing to stir. Now, remember to only put like 1/3, 1/4 cup in. Don't put in the whole half cup. Okay. Now, is this going to work? All right. So what do you think of my creative recipe today for St. Patrick's Day without the corned beef? So leave it at my comments below and I'll definitely look at them. I found the comment section. Nah, I gotta put it back in. It didn't work. Okay, so I have to put in flour. Okay. So let's see. I will put in 1 cup of flour. Yeah, sorry. It's a little loose. I don't know who didn't want to put it actually in. All right. All right. Yeah, I sort of take a chance without doing it ahead of time. So that's just the way it goes. So, but I either sink or swim. And plus they say errors bring views. So I decided to go with that. So I'll put this here. Okay. All right, this would work. Am I actually being a chicken at the moment? No. So, all righty. There we go. Now I'm going to stick it in. and see if it works this time. All right. I was better off in just keeping. All right. Putting in the flour. So, here we go. Yeah, it works pretty well with flour. I didn't see flour in the recipe, so I'm like, okay, well, I assume there's none. But yeah, I decided, you know what? I'm just going to use it. And no, like I said, rewritten the recipe to fit my channel. I did not use anyone's recipe. So here we go. It looks like it's going to work, everyone. Only it looks like a hamburger. Go figure, huh? So, keep your fingers crossed. I'm going to turn this down. Whoa. Now, so this week, I forgot to turn off the phone again. I can't believe it. So, yeah, this week is some week for the former Scientology world and the SPTV community. Okay. All right. I did flip it over and it did work. So it's great. Okay. Sorry I bored you. Now, alrighty. All right, it worked. It flipped it over and there wasn't a problem flipping it over. It just worked. So, okay. So, okay. Now, yeah, I'm definitely going to go shopping this week I think for better paint because the paint I use at my crafts table is horrible. You can't even see the color. It's like you can see through it. And I painted with a lot better paint than that one. So it's not that great. So. And let's see. Yeah, it's so now sometimes there are people that think Christianity is a cult, but I haven't really saw it, but you know what? It's not really a control group. So you can walk in and out anytime you want. Nobody's going to stop you from leaving. So I don't know if it, I mean, to me, people can walk in and walk out every way. It's not really a control group. So I don't think so. But at the same time, they have a hard time inviting other religions such as Buddhism, Wicca, Muslim, and the LGBTQ community. But I don't know if in the past my church ever brought it up because I haven't heard it. whether they invite in the LGBTQ community. So, yeah, I mean, are they educated? No, well, they're not educated enough. But yeah, I mean, I can see where they're coming from, since half of them actually do harm people, but those are the stereotypical witches. The other half doesn't do anything to harm anyone. It says live free, harm none. So yeah, I've read several books on on witchcraft when I actually was working a gig in Salem. Of course, also an actor. But then one day my career slowed down and I suddenly went back to school. So, and now I wanted to actually use my education. So I started applying my theories on how I should use my education. I'm starting to write. And I wanted to actually, when I found out Scientology was totally against psychiatry and is damaging people who aren't. Now I was thinking there were actual people in there that were once psychologists, but no. It's just real bad for people with mental illness in Scientology. Now, and Lisa McPherson and Whitney Mills was one of those two that died in Scientology's hands. Now, Scientology, there was 10 Scientologists there getting Whitney Mills out of the hospital. They somehow convinced her to let them take her. They locked her in a room for 14 days. She lost 40 pounds. And then one day she was just unresponsive. Make a long story short, they did not call an ambulance or any emergency workers and just took her to the hospital. They did not stop at the one that was 1 minute away. They passed 4 hospitals to get to the hospitals that had the Scientologists there. And that was David Minkoff. And as you know, his daughter, Rebecca Minkoff, was on The Housewives. Now, did I want to watch it? No, I don't think so. Because I'm not going to sit here and watch everybody whine about their life. And yeah, no way. I put up enough of that with, let's see. What show was this? Oh, geez. Okay. It's almost done. Forgot what show it is. It just got real bad. So I'm like, you know what? I am not watching any more reality shows. It's just bad. So, yeah, she was on The Real Housewives. So, all right, looks like it'll stay together. It's a little loose, but it's fine. So, maybe I'll put this back in for a little while longer. And oh wow, this is turning out really great. I did put the flour on. It didn't fall apart. And it's still together. Okay. Yeah, I should have scraped it a little bit more better. So, okay. Now, I'm going to turn it up a little bit more. I'm going to put it in the middle. Now, I'm sorry I'm boring at all of you. So, it's, yeah. I decided, you know what? No way. They actually played it on YouTube. I don't know. Yeah, Serge played it from beginning to end, and yeah, she was being. She does not. None of those people in Scientology think they're in a cult, but they are. Nobody ever think they're in a cult, especially Jehovah's Witness and the Mormons. Now, Jehovah's Witness think they're not a cult and don't do evil things, but they do, except we didn't have everybody back in the 80s, 90s, or when it first started out in what year? Was it 1860? I don't know. So, okay. Let's see here. All right, I'm going to keep it like that. And yeah. No one's going to think they're in a cult. Not Jehovah's Witnesses, not Scientologists, no one. Because they think it's something out of a paganism, but no. Anyone can be in a cult. And not, well, the stereotypical ones, yeah, they sacrifice, but there are some that are not stereotypical. I mean, they don't harm anyone or anything, which is Wicca, Garnerian witches. So, but those are the rules in witchcraft. You harm none. Okay. Now, I'm not saying this to scare any of you. That's just, those are the, that's the only rule they have. Otherwise, you live free. So, that means you're not allowed to touch anyone. And if they say anything wrong to you, you just go on your merry way. And they definitely not going to cast the spell on each and every person they see. I've read every book about it. Yeah, this phone is driving me crazy. So, and okay. So, now I got the story on L. Ron Hubbard and the occult, the stereotypical one. Find out on Thursday. And if I can't, I'll let you know ahead of time. So I know I keep saying this, but so I'm studying on how he actually put his theories together. All right, here we go. It's done. All right. And this is what it looks like. So it looks something like a crab cake of some kind. All right. And then I'm going to put in more of it. Am I going to eat it today? No, there are other food in the refrigerator that I have to have to get rid of. So, no. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to mix this up a little more. And this is right after I put 1 cup of flour in, so it doesn't fall apart. Okay. I should have put the flour in first. Okay. All right. I'm sorry I'm boring all of you. So, all right. Now I'm going to put more in, so let's do it. Okay. I use the 1/3 for scooping and putting it in, so let's do it. All right. Okay. Now we'll press down on this, and it just looks so interesting. And this would be what I made for St. Patrick's Day. And let's see here. I know I should be better prepared, but sometimes those things happen. And let's see. Now, I think people are going to talk about Jenna and her family all week, with the incident dating back years ago before Ron passed away, and when Jenna received an audio from his wife before she passed. They both passed away. So, okay. I mean, is this turning out right? Yes, I think it is. And it looks a lot like a hamburger, a yellow hamburger. That's what it looks like. So I really think it's just great. This is right after I put the flour in. I dumped the cabbage back in and put the 1 cup of flour. It's holding together. So now we haven't seen Natalie in a while. Now I'm gonna actually work up the courage to go to the SPTV site and see what time she comes on. So, and she is wonderful at what she does. She is inspiring. She has a personality for a radio show. So all you guys who actually has a radio show, give her a job. So, okay. All right, I really need to put more spray on this one. So, all right. Now, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put more spray on this one. Other than that, it doesn't look too bad. And today's the day to have it since it's St. Patrick's Day. It is just so much fun today. And it's been a big week this week for Jenna Miscavige. And the family drama, which is her uncle Davy from the Big Space Navy. Would it evolve to his buddy Tom Cruise? Maybe. But however, he even took him and another buddy with him on his honeymoon to Katie Holmes. Now, if that happened to me, I would tell the guy that I'm married to, forget it. I ain't going. And you guys have a nice honeymoon. I would have never gone. He's just so thoughtless in all the things he's doing. And going to a Taylor Swift concert instead of his kid's graduation day is selfish. And going to Victoria Beckham's 50th birthday party instead of going to his daughter's 18th birthday party is selfish. Now, he could be paying for all her needs, but still, in my book, if you don't see your kid, you're a deadbeat. You abandoned your child. It doesn't matter whether or not you're paying child support. You see your kid. Now, there are people out there that can't have children and want children, but guys like Tom Cruise gets to adopt kids with the money he has and then have a one biological kid to order to abandon it. It is just unbelievable. It's horrible. All right, let's turn this over. Yeah, I'm going to put more cooking spray on this. Now, if you have cooking spray and you want to use it, go ahead. But if you don't want to use that extra oil, I sympathize. I didn't want to use that extra oil, but just make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom. All right. And what other things that happened? And what contributed to the divorce? I don't think Katie had any kind of freedom at all whatsoever. It didn't look that way. Since she had to make plans to exit Scientology and her marriage, she had to plan. So now, to me, protesting Scientology, at the moment, I'm not going to go. But however, if there's a huge group, like from 1,500 to 1,000 people, maybe 2,000, I'll go. Otherwise, I'm not going to go because my mental health relies on me not going. So, yeah, I'd rather go with that kind of group and see David cry when he sees it. But nah, I'm not going to go. Not at this moment. So I'm going to see what I'm going to do to get people that I can go to. All right. Now, I did get in touch with PETA to see if they're going to have a protesting Scientology. And geez, I accidentally burned myself a little. Yeah, I'm gonna actually put more cooking spray on this. All right, so yeah, I mean, today is not Saturday or Sunday, so I am not using extra oil today. So I'm just gonna use the cooking pan. Oh, jeez. Now let me see here. I gotta put a little bit more here. Now let me see. I'm gonna put these back and see how it works out. I don't like the way it worked out, so put it back in. This one back in. I put a little bit more in. Now, and I'm gonna let it cook. I'm sorry that I actually put it back and just it was a little soft. So, oh boy. Okay, so all right there. So I'm gonna see how this turns out. I put a little extra cooking spray in there. Now, I didn't hear from the person that I'm hoping to hear from, but I'll make another call tomorrow to, I'll never tell until it's completely done. So, now, okay. Yeah, for years, Scientology has these abuses dating back to L. Ron Hubbard. No one knew what they did up to when they started having cameras and the internet. And of course, you know, today the internet is the modern day Pandora's box. Any secret can come out. So nowadays, everybody's so cautious in what they're doing, and they're like, oh, well, is somebody watching me? Or, yeah, it's just a rough thing to go through. But yeah, I make it a point to make sure that, okay, maybe that happened, but I'm not going to let that happen again. And I am not going to do that again, or don't do it at all. I say don't do it at all, since your secret's going to come out right off the internet. So just, yeah, don't do anything on the internet except either perform, talk, Now, reality shows on the internet, not a good idea, because you're on live or you film it and then publish it, and then that's it. Now, it looked like, it happened to Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson when they actually, I think it might have came out on the internet. Oh boy, this is turning out fine. So, all right, it is almost ready. So, okay, there we go. It's almost done. It's like a version of hamburgers, only in a vegan version, which is cabbage. And oh boy, I think it's going to turn out good. Am I going to eat it today? Well, not really. So I'm going to have to eat the other stuff I made the last weekend. So, or else it's going to spoil badly. So I have to eat whatever's in my refrigerator first. And then tomorrow I am going to make zucchini lasagna. And then come this Sunday, not only I'll be making brunch, but I'll be making dinner as well. So I'm going to give you bonus days since I was detained the weekend back. Over the weekend, I couldn't do it. So I just went back and said, okay, that should do it. Now, I am working to improve my show. I had ideas. So, all right, here you go. Yeah, I'm going to wait till that's done. Spread this out a little bit. How long is it going to take? You know what? I don't know. So I just want both sides to be brown. And then I'm going to actually spray it again. And then put the other batter in. It is just so, I think it's fabulous. It tastes fairly well. Okay. Now, this has been some week. I've had the past weekend, and I'm going to have another week because guess what? My niece's shower this Saturday. So I'm going to have another day that's, well, I might make dinner, maybe. But if not, I'll have an extra dinner day for you on Monday. So you have my word. Okay, here we go. Yep, it's done. I want it brown on both sides. So make sure it's brown on both sides before taking it out. I'm sorry I actually bored you to death, but I am. So all right, this has to finish a little more and then I'll put more in. I'm boring myself to death, but trying to come up with more. conversations. Of course, I'm a trained actor, so I'm doing improv. So, and going back to school to me was so great. It's like a world that I never entered before, and it was fabulous. Now, all you young performers, actors, actresses, dancers, and musicians, consider going back to school. I mean, you have more choices. You'll work in a little bit more when you go back to school. You could have, if you can own a recording studio or own your own club with musicians, your own band, or you can actually create your own movie and have an affiliates and work it in. Because guess what? There's YouTube, there's TikTok, and there's other things on the internet that you could do. Now you have more options. Yesterday there weren't too many options, so now you do. Okay. All right, it's done. So consider going back to school. I mean, I wish I went back because now I would have more options in what I do. So, okay, this goes in right here. Oh my gosh, this is just so excellent. I wish you guys were here to smell it. So I'm going to stir this up a little more. Oh boy, this is unbelievably good. All right, I'm gonna put in more cooking spray. I don't want it to totally stick, so take it off the burner. Put it back on. And then we're gonna put the batter in, or whatever, put more cabbage in. Okay, I am almost done. It has been an hour now. And then tomorrow I'm going to make zucchini lasagna. It is going to be fabulous. And then on Sunday, or maybe on Sunday, but am I going to go shopping on Saturday? It's possible. So if I go shopping on Saturday, I'll definitely have brunch the next morning. Okay. Now, am I on the midst of finding a job? Yes. Alrighty. Okay, now this is not cooking up. We're done. The batter's gone. And there is, it's great. It is just great. So without the corned beef, we got the cabbage, and it is great. This is what it looks like now. The cabbage pancake. And it really looks like a burger. Yes. But did I want to make it any bigger? Not really. Okay. All right. Now, am I going to flip it over? Yeah. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to flip this one over because it looks like it's ready to burn. All right, there it is. Now I'm gonna, looks like, put this one over. Oh my gosh, this is just so awesome. If only you guys can see this. Okay. All right. What about the little one? Yeah, I'll flip it over. All right, and there it is, the cabbage pancake. Right on St. Patrick's Day without the corned beef. Cruelty free. But hey, I'm not telling you how you should live your life. You can do whatever you want. I'm not going to tell you how to live. So, you want to have that corned beef? Well, there's nothing I can do about it, but it's okay. So, there's plenty of us vegetarians and vegans around the world, so I'm good. So, and it just tastes so fabulous. And I almost dropped my ladle. Okay. And okay. Wow. This has been an incredible day for me. Even though I didn't go out, I have the cabbage recipe right here. Tomorrow, I'm going to make zucchini for you. And what am I going to talk about tomorrow? Click on and find out. Is it going to be the same story? Is it going to be a different story? Let's see. But then Thursday, I'm going to bring you a story about L. Ron Hubbard. Now, I'll let you know tomorrow if I'm finished with that story. And yeah, I'll somehow do it on Monday or Thursday. Who knows? I'm a little slow on these things. So, all right, let's see if I can just turn this thing over and see if it's ready. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Almost there. Now, what other channels are there? We know Doc Beaver is on the network. And we all know Cubs fan. Well, he's in Boston, not Cleveland. I don't know who else is in Cleveland that works, but Doc Beaver is the biggest one there, I think. So, to me, if I haven't heard of you, you're a small channel. So, that's the way I look at it. But I have another one name on my list, and it's a Florida podcast. Now, I didn't bring it on, did I? It doesn't look like it, so yeah. All right, let's see if it's done. Yep, looks like it's done. All right, it is done. All right, and there we go. There's your cabbage recipe. All right, well, that should do it. Now, I could tell you to go to buy me a coffee or a PayPal, but you know what? I don't have that information now that I switched up computers. So, so I'm going to turn this off. All right. But I can say this. Hit the like, press subscribe, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye. Oh, again, it's not the touch screen there.